Hello everybody, this is 권주현. 중동에서 온 권아나입니다. 수리수리 마수리. 오늘은 제가 램프를 이렇게 만지면서 수면을 취할 수 있도록 돕도록 하겠습니다. 알라딘의 램프 어렸을 때 읽어보셨죠? 책을 읽으시고 주전자를 많이 비벼보신 경험이 있으신가요? 아무 반응이 없는 걸 깨닫고 실망하신 적 있으시죠? 열어봤는데 아무것도 없어. 저도 이 주전자를 할머니가 바자회에서 사셔서 엄마에게 드린 건데 엄마가 다시 저한테 주셨어요. 돌고 돌아. 그럼 여러분, 권하나가 들려주는 영국식 발음 알라딘의 램프 한번 들으시라오. Aladdin's lamp. A long time ago in Persia, a poor boy called Aladdin was playing with his friends in the streets of his city. A stranger came up to him and asked him if he was not the son of Mustafa, the tailor. "I am, sir," replied Aladdin, "but he died a long while ago." When the stranger heard this, he embraced Aladdin, saying, "My boy, I am your long-lost uncle." Aladdin ran home and told his mother all about this newly found relative, and she prepared supper for them all. The next day, the uncle led Aladdin out far beyond the city gates. They journeyed onwards until late afternoon. But Aladdin did not feel tired because his uncle told him so many interesting stories. Eventually, they reached the foot of a mountain. "We will go no farther," said the false uncle. For in truth, he was not Aladdin's relative, but an African magician in disguise. "I will show you something wonderful," he said. The magician lit a fire and threw some powder on it while saying some magical words. The earth trembled a little, and a large boulder rolled on one side. Aladdin saw a flight of steps leading down into a dark cave. The opening was just large enough for a boy to pass through, but plainly the magician, who was rather fat, would not have managed to enter the cave himself. "Go down," commanded the magician. "At the foot of those steps, you'll find an open door leading into 3 large halls. Pass through them without touching anything, or you would die instantly. These halls lead into a garden of fine fruit trees. Walk on until you come to a table upon which stands a lighted lamp. Pour out the oil it contains and bring it to me." Aladdin was afraid to disobey the magician and went down the stairs into the cave. On the ground, he found a ring, and despite the magician's order not to touch anything, he picked it up and slipped it onto his finger. He did not die. Then he passed through the garden, where he picked fruit from the trees. Later on, he found the lamp, just as the magician had said, and he went back up the stairs to the mouth of the cave. The magician cried out, "Make haste and give me the lamp." But Aladdin saw through his trick and understood that as soon as he handed over the lamp, the magician would replace the stone and he would be shut inside the cave, never to leave. And so Aladdin called out, "Let me out first, and only then will I give you the lamp." The magician flew into a terrible rage, and throwing some more powder onto the fire, he said some more magic words, and the stone rolled back into its place. For 2 days, Aladdin remained trapped inside the cave. At last, he clasped his hands in prayer, and in so doing rubbed the ring that he had picked off the ground. Immediately, an enormous and frightful genie rose out of the earth, saying, "What wouldst thou with me? I am the slave of the ring, and will obey thee in all things." Aladdin fearlessly replied, "Deliver me from this place," whereupon the earth opened up, and he found himself back at home. "Alas, child," said his mother when she noticed him, "I have nothing to eat in the house. We will go hungry again tonight." Aladdin soothed her, saying he would sell the lamp to get some money for food. As it was very dirty, his mother began to rub it, that it might fetch a higher price. Instantly, a hideous genie appeared and asked what she would have. She fainted away, but Aladdin, snatching the lamp, said boldly, "Fetch me something to eat." The genie returned with a silver bowl, 12 silver plates containing rich meats, 2 silver cups and 2 bottles of wine. Aladdin's mother, when she came to, said, "Where did you get this splendid feast?" "Ask not, but eat," replied Aladdin. One day, the Sultan who ruled the city ordered that everyone was to stay at home and close his shutters, while the princess, his daughter, went to and from the bath. Aladdin was seized by a desire to see her face, which was very difficult, as she always went veiled. He hid himself behind the door of the bath and peeped through a chink. The princess looked so beautiful that Aladdin fell in love with her at first sight. He went home and told his mother that he loved the princess so deeply that he could not live without her. His mother burst out laughing, but Aladdin at last persuaded her to go to the Sultan and request his daughter's hand in marriage for her son. She fetched a napkin and laid in it the magic fruits from the enchanted garden, which sparkled and shone like the most beautiful jewels. She took these with her to please the Sultan. After waiting several days at the palace, she was admitted to see him. She threw herself down at the foot of the throne and waited for several minutes until the Sultan said to her, "Old woman, tell me what you want." She hesitated, then told him of her son's love for the princess, only at last remembering to open the napkin that contained the magical jewels. When the Sultan saw this wonderful present, he was thunderstruck, and turning to his chief adviser, the Grand Vizier, he said, "Ought I not to give the princess to one who values her at such a prize?" The vizier, who was hoping that his own son would marry the princess, begged the Sultan to delay the wedding for 3 months, during which time he hoped to make him a richer present. The Sultan agreed. Aladdin waited patiently for his wedding day in 3 months' time. But after 2 months, his mother, going into the city to buy oil, found everyone rejoicing and asked what was going on. "Do you not know?" was the answer. that the son of the Grand Vizier is to marry the Sultan's daughter tonight." Aladdin was stunned when he heard the news. But presently he took down the lamp and rubbed it. The genie appeared, saying, "What is thy will?" Aladdin replied, "The Sultan has broken his promise to me, and the Vizier's son is to marry the princess. My command is that you bring the princess here, so that the scoundrel can't have her." "Your wish is my command," said the genie. And in an instant, the princess was sitting in Aladdin's room, still wearing her wedding dress. He told her not to be afraid, but she was utterly confused and quite terrified. The next morning, the genie took her back to the palace. The princess told her mother how she had been carried by magic to some strange house. Her mother did not believe her in the least, and the Sultan ordered that the wedding should take place that evening instead. The following night, exactly the same thing happened. The Sultan was furious and even considered having his daughter's head cut off. He summoned the Vizier's son. "Plainly, my daughter is hiding from you," he said. "Do you still wish to marry her?" "Well," said the young man, who was very proud and arrogant, "if the princess does not obey her father, the great Sultan, what hope is that she'll make me a good wife? I give up my claim over her. Better that she marry the poorest beggar, if that's what she wants." When the 3 months were over, Aladdin sent his mother to remind the Sultan of his promise. She stood in the same place as before, and the Sultan, on seeing her poverty, felt less inclined than ever to keep his word. The Vizier advised him to set so high a value on the princess that no man living could come up to it. The Sultan then turned to Aladdin's mother, saying, "Good woman, a sultan must remember his promises, and I will remember mine. But your son must first send me 40 basins of gold full of jewels. Tell him that I await his answer." When he heard this, Aladdin summoned up his genie, and soon 80 slaves, splendidly dressed, were waiting in the alleyway outside his house. The slaves were carrying 40 golden basins, brimming with jewels. Aladdin mounted his horse and passed through the streets, the slaves strewing gold as they went. 오늘은 여기까지. 잠드셨으면 다음날 일어나셔서 구독과 좋아요 눌러주세요. 그런데 잠들면 이 말을 못 듣겠죠. 알게 뭐야. Have a good night. Bye bye.